Good afternoon, Terry here at Two Rooster Farm. Today I'm going to be making a really easy dessert. It's a trifle. It's not the regular trifle with the custard and the strawberry jam and all that kind of stuff. This is chocolate trifle. I've been making this for absolutely years. Like most of my recipes, I've been making them for a long time. And I usually make it around Christmas time or, you know, Easter or whenever we want sort of like a nice dessert, and the kids used to love it. So you just need to start off by making a cake. You can make a cake from scratch, or you can just buy what I've done. I've just bought a box mix, and I'm gonna prep this and cool it. And yeah, so I'm gonna set the oven for 350. I'm gonna put together my cake into a baking pan here, and then when I'm at the next step, when the cake is baked and cooled, I'll start to explain the rest of the instructions. Okay. It doesn't really matter what size pan, but because you're going to have to slice the cake after. Just going to pour it all in. All right, all in the pan, into the oven for about 35 minutes. Hey Google, set timer for 35 minutes.
Sure, 35 minutes. Starting.
Well, as you can tell, I'm making another recipe at the same time, but my cake is ready, so I'm going to take it out of the oven and cool it, and then I'll be back at the next step. Oh, there it is. It's still hot. It's all ready. Doesn't matter that it's totally disshaped, disformed. I don't know if that's a word. Is it a word? Anyways, yeah. So what you're going to do is you're going to cool it. And then you're basically going to just, cut it in half, and then you're going to sort of like take a layer off, and I'll show you in more detail, because you just basically want it to go into the bottom of your trifle bowl that I'm going to use. And I'm just actually using a punch bowl. So we'll be back in the next step. Okay, so while the cake is cooling, I'm going to start to prep the other ingredients for the chocolate trifle. So we're going to start off, you need to get some of this, I think it's Dr. Oetker or whatever kind of chocolate mousse. This is the powdered stuff. So you need 3 packages. And it calls for 1 cup of milk for each package. So I'm just going to add this to the bowl. Normally, or not normally, in the past, I should say, when I made this dessert, like in the 90s, when I was making it, we used to use Cool Whip. I don't use Cool Whip anymore. I like real whipping cream, so I'll be whipping some whipping cream as well. So, have a pair of scissors, that might be easier, but anyways, I'll turn the camera off and carry on 1 sec. Okay, all into the bowl. Now I'm going to add my milk, 3 cups of milk. Doesn't matter, I think this is just 2%, whatever milk you have. I'm sure skim is probably fine. And I found my beaters. They were in a different cupboard. All right, so let's just turn this on. Sometimes what I like to do is I would put this in a sink and then beat it that way. Then basically all the splatters goes into the sink. But I'm not going to do that right now. Stir it a little bit so all the powder doesn't fly up in my face. So you just have to beat it for 2 minutes, and then I'm just going to stick it in the fridge to keep cool. And then I'm going to beat my whipped cream. So I'll be back in the next step. Okay. It's done. go. So, and I'm just gonna stick this into the fridge, and then I'm gonna whip my whipped cream. Okay, so I'm just gonna now whip the whipped cream. So I am gonna set it in my sink because it just helps with the cleanup, so it doesn't get whipped cream all over my counter. So make as much as you want. I'm probably gonna put in about 3 cups of whipping cream. Start to beat. So you're just gonna beat it till it's almost ready. So it's getting some good stiff peaks, and then you're gonna add the sugar at sort of at the last little bit of whipping time. Sort of see that it's, you know, it's developing some peaks. So this is when I would add my sugar. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of sugar. As much or as little as you want. And carry on. Okay, so lastly, we're going to be just getting the last little ingredient that you're going to add to your trifle. So this is basically whatever kind of chocolate bar you want. I used to always just put these Skor Bars in, so you would just, I think how many, I think it was like 7 Skor Bars or something like that, and you're just going to chop them up, and that would be in part of the layers, like you're going to be layering it with cake, the mousse, whipped cream, chocolate bars, and then you repeat the layers again. But I've used crispy crunch bars. Oh, excuse me. Hey Google, turn off timer. So like I said, I have sometimes used crispy crunch. Today I'm gonna use, I just happen to have 2 Skor Bars, so I'm gonna use those, but I also bought some chocolate macaroons. So I'm gonna put that in my layer. So I'm just gonna chop my Skor Bars here into little pieces. You can't see me. Just sort of, just get a sharp knife or any knife and just kind of, just sort of like that. And the chocolate macaroons, I'm not gonna cut. I'm just gonna put those in whole. Actually, sometimes I used to put, the kids really liked it, was those rollos. They are really good. So I sometimes would just decorate the top with some of those. So I'll carry on and I'll be back at the next step. Okay, we're ready to start. So the cake is a little bit warm, but I don't think it's gonna matter. So this is the size bowl that I'm using. It's the punch bowl that I'm using. If you have another, if you don't have a punch bowl and you have some other kind of large dish, go ahead and use it. I just use it because it's clear and then you can actually sometimes see the layers and it looks kind of neat. So I'm gonna move that over there. And get organized so you can see what I'm doing. All right, so we're just gonna, it doesn't matter, the cake, you're just gonna chop it in half, maybe chop it in half again, and then you're gonna have sort of a piece that looks like that. So I am actually gonna slice that in half. So it's in half, and then I'm just gonna basically layer it. I'm gonna put one on the bottom, and then I'm just gonna layer around the sides. So I'm just gonna cut this one in half. And just sort of drop it in sort of along the sides. Scoop out the other one. Slice it in half. And see how I'm just kind of I'll maybe put one more on this side, maybe just a skinny one. You just want to do the bottom and then you're going to get your layers in. So if you can sort of see what it does, that's, well, that fell over. Just basically you've covered the bottom and part of the sides on the bottom. All right, let's get my spoon. All right, so the next layer is going to be your chocolate mousse. So just trying to think how many layers. I probably am going to just do one layer and then I'm going to repeat. So I'm going to do 2 layers. I think you can probably do 3 or whatever you want. But so you're just going to make sure that you're going to need enough for another layer. So I'm just probably going to just use half of this. I'm just going to plunk it inside. Maybe I just need to get that in. Sort of. Just kind of smear it around. And maybe bring it in the sides. Sort of ride it up the cake a little bit. Like so. And then you're gonna layer it with your whipped cream. So the same idea, I'm probably just gonna use half. So just plunk that on top. Bring it up the sides. And then you're gonna sprinkle your chocolate, your chopped chocolate bars. So like I say, any different kind of chocolate bar, if you wanna use chocolate chips or whatever you like. So just gonna sprinkle half of the Skor Bars. And I'm gonna sprinkle a few of these, but I wanna actually use some of these for the top to decorate it, so I'm probably not gonna, actually I'm wondering, maybe I might, I think it might go farther if I actually cut these. So for this layer, I'm just gonna chop them a bit. All right, so I chopped them up, and I just felt like it would actually, we have more of the macaroons in each bite than if I actually plopped in just a few whole ones. So here's all of those. What it kind of looks, the first layer. And we're just gonna okay, so now we're just gonna carry on with the cake. I'm just gonna chop this one in half. And we're just gonna, you don't have to use all the cake because sometimes it can be more than you need. But anyways, let's see here. So I'm just basically covering the bottom or the bottom of that layer. At the top of that layer. And just kind of spreading it around to fill the sides up. Doesn't have to look pretty, that's for sure. And I don't think I'm going to use all the cake because it's too much. So I used almost the whole thing, so it's just a little bit I didn't use. And then you're going to cover it with the remainder of your chocolate mousse. Make sure you get every last drop. spatula. Spatula, just so I make sure I got all of it. Gonna spread it around. All right, and then we're just gonna spread it with the last bit of whipped cream. Nobody's losing any weight today. Try to get on every last drop. The whipped cream as well. I'm just gonna probably should have cleaned that bowl off a bit, but no worries, let's cover it up. Go. Get off. You're looking good. Okay, and then you're just gonna sprinkle the remainder of your chocolate. I'm just gonna place my little chocolate macaroons. And this is where I would have put the rollos. I would have put them around the side as well. A few more. And there you have it. Pretty simple. You can kind of see what it looks like from the side. But oh man, your guests are just gonna love it. So there we go. Super easy dessert. One your family is going to love, especially your kids. I know my kids did. They always asked for it at Christmas time. That was dessert that I used to bring to somebody's house, was this my chocolate trifle. So until next time, this is Terry here at Two Rooster Farm. Have a great day.